And now we'll finish the reading. Stopping Illegal Immigration, the Yes Side by Mark Krikorian, and we're on page 266 now. That showed that reducing new illegal immigration is possible. But what about increasing the number of illegals already here who give up and leave? That too has already been demonstrated. After the 9/11 attacks, immigration authorities undertook a special registration program for visitors from Islamic countries. The affected nation with the largest illegal alien population was Pakistan, with an estimated 26,000 illegals here in 2000. Once it became clear that the government was getting more serious about enforcing the immigration law, at least with regard to Middle Easterners, Pakistan illegals started leaving on their own in large numbers. The Pakistani embassy estimated that more than 15,000 of its illegal aliens left the United States, and the Washington Post reported the disquieting fact that in Brooklyn, Little Pakistan, the mosque was 1/3 empty. Business was down. There were fewer want ads in the local Urdu language paper, and for rent signs sprouted up everywhere. And in an inadvertent enforcement initiative, the Social Security Administration in 2002 sent out almost 1 million no-match letters to employers who filed W-2s with information that was inconsistent with SSA's records. The intention was to clear up misspellings, name changes, and other mistakes that had caused a large amount of money paid into the system to go uncredited. But, of course, most of the problem was caused by illegal aliens lying to their employers, and thousands of illegals quit or were fired when they were found out. The effort was so successful at denying work to illegals that businesses and immigrant rights groups organized to stop it and won a 90% reduction in the number of letters to be sent out. A policy of attrition through enforcement would have two main components: an increase in conventional enforcement, arrests, prosecutions, deportations, asset seizures, etc., plus expanded use of verification of legal status of a variety of important points to make it difficult and unpleasant as possible to live here illegally. Conventional enforcement. As to the first, the authorities from the White House on down need to make an unambiguous commitment to immigration enforcement. There must be an end to the climate of impunity for border jumping and illegal immigrants and fake documents and immigration fraud. To use only one example of the long-standing lack of commitment, aliens who repeatedly sneak across the border are supposed to be prosecuted and jailed, and the Border Patrol unveiled a new digital fingerprint system in the mid-90s to make tracking of repeat crossers possible. The problem is that short-staffed U.S. attorneys' offices kept increasing the number of apprehensions needed before they would prosecute to avoid actually having to prosecute at all. It would be hard to exaggerate the demoralizing effect that such disregard for the law has on immigration enforcement agents. Conversely, the morale of immigration workers would soar in the wake of real commitment to law enforcement. Among measures that would facilitate enforcement, hiring more U.S. attorneys and judges in border states to allow for more prosecutions, expanding our laughably small Border Patrol, which even with recent increases is barely 1/4 the size of the New York Police Department, and is only able to deploy an average of 1 agent per mile along the Mexican border during any given shift, promoting enhanced cooperation between federal immigration authorities and state and local police, and seizing the assets, however modest, of apprehended illegal aliens, expanding detention capacity, streamlining the immigration appeals process to deport aliens more quickly. firewalls. Even if we were somehow to increase deportations tenfold, most of the decline in the illegal population would have to come through self-deportation, illegal aliens giving up and going home. Unlike at the visa office or the border crossing, once aliens are inside the United States, there's no physical site to exercise control, no choke point at which to examine whether someone should be admitted. The solution is to create virtual choke points, events that are necessary for life in modern society but are infrequent enough not to bog down everyone's daily business. Another analogy for this concept is to firewalls in computer systems, filters that people would pass through only if their legal status is verified. The objective is not mainly to identify illegal aliens for arrest, though that will always be a tool, but rather to make it difficult as possible for illegal aliens to live a normal life here. This is the rationale for the prohibition against employing illegal aliens. People have to work, so requiring proof of legal status upon starting a job would serve as an important firewall. Congress instituted this firewall tactic in 1986 when it prohibited the employment of illegal aliens. But in the absence of a mandatory verification mechanism, such a system could not succeed. The Immigration Service has already developed a verification system which has proven both workable and popular with participating businesses, including my own Center for Immigration Studies. Building on this fledgling system, we need to find other instances in which legal status might be verified and thus illegals barred, such as getting a driver's license, registering an automobile, opening a bank account, applying for a car loan or a mortgage, getting a business or occupational license, and obtaining government services of any kind. An important element in this firewall tactic is secure documentation. By enacting the REAL ID Act, Congress has already taken a step toward establishing uniform standards for state driver's licenses, which serve as our nation's de facto national identification system. At least as important is to formally prohibit acceptance of consular registration cards, chiefly Mexico's Matricula consular card, which functions as an illegal alien ID when accepted by the U.S. jurisdictions and companies as a valid ID. It enables illegal aliens to pass through many firewalls. An important point about using verification of legal status is a way to downsize the illegal population is that its effects would be felt gradually rather than all at once. A new functional verification system for employment, for instance, would be applied mainly to new hires, though employers should have the option of checking existing employees as well. The same is true for getting a driver's license or a mortgage. These are not things people do every day, so the effects of verifying legal status would unfold over a period of time. Mr. Chairman, you and your colleagues should be deliberate on immigration policy, secure in the knowledge that reasserting control over immigration requires no landmines, no machine guns, no tattoos, none of the cartoonish images invoked by opponents of tight immigration controls. All that is needed is the consistent application of the ordinary law enforcement tools plus a rejection of measures that would undermine enforcement, such as amnesties or expanded foreign worker programs. I look forward to any questions you might have. And that's the end of that. And this was a speech that he gave to the Senate Committee on the Judiciary. Just like the follow-up, the no site's going to be a similar thing as well. But that's the end. We're done.